Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Directed by Junie. I talk about art and I also make art. On today's episode, and also in honor of Black History Month, I wanted to talk about The Watermelon Woman because I'm realizing not a lot of people know about that movie and know about the director who made the movie. What is a mockumentary? From the Cinema Waves blog, mockumentaries use the conventions of traditional documentaries, such as talking head interviews, handheld camera work, voiceovers, and on-the-scene footage to lend authenticity to their stories, despite being entirely fictional or exaggerated. One of the earliest examples is Orson Welles' War of the Worlds. He did a radio broadcast in 1938 where he staged an alien invasion.
Those creatures know what that means, what anything means. Wait a minute, something's happening. Humped shape is rising out of the pit.
Mockumentary is so fun. Some of the earlier examples of it, or more recent examples rather, is Abbott Elementary, American Vandal, What We Do in the Shadows for all my vampire fans. Because of the fact that they use humor and satire and fabricated found footage, they create this sense of realism. Honestly, it works because we're already working from a reality adjacent perspective. Chapter 1. Who is Cheryl Dunye? Cheryl Dunye is a Liberian-American director raised in Philadelphia. She made a career pivot from poli-sci into film, landing a bachelor's and a master's. Her first films are what she coins a juniestreet, which is a compilation of experimental films made from 1990 to 1995. Through that body of work, she's continuously expressed this want to see more Black lesbians on screen since that representation wasn't visible yet. She took that responsibility of kind of spearheading that voice, so she became the face of new queer wave in the 1990s. She was inspired by classical Hollywood era actresses, Hattie McDaniels and Butterfly McQueen. From that desire of wanting that representation, Watermelon Woman made its debut in 1996 with a $300,000 budget through the National Endowment for the Arts and her community of friends. It was the first narrative feature film ever to be directed by a Black lesbian, which is insane because it was 1996. Chapter 2. How the Watermelon Woman uses the mockumentary format.
Hi, I'm Cheryl and I'm a filmmaker. I'm not really a filmmaker, but I have a videotaping business with my friend Tamara, and I work at a video store.
Cheryl Dunye plays this 25-year-old fictionalized version of herself who works at a video store. In her off hours, she watches films from the 30s and the 40s when she comes across a movie called Plantation Memories. In that, she finds that the only Black woman in the film was typecast as a mammy kind of trope, and was credited as the Watermelon Woman, not even with her full name.
Her name, the Watermelon Woman. That's right, Watermelon Woman. Is Watermelon Woman her first name, her last name, or is it her whole name?
While she's going on this all-consuming quest, she invites the audience to take that journey with her, which I think is really cool. We learn the fictional life of Faye Richards, who faced racism in the film industry and then went on to be forgotten. At this film's core, it touches on the erasure of Black queer figures and interracial relationships within Hollywood. Because the actress Faye Richards is fictional, a mockumentary format is the perfect genre to make the history feel real. Cheryl reconstructs Faye Richards' story by using archival footage, stage interviews, and DIY filmmaking to make a character who really could have existed. Chapter 3. Why it works so well. The film turns the mockumentary form as a tool for historical reclamation. Mockumentary then becomes a genre for possibility because it centers narratives about queer Black people that have gone undocumented. Cheryl is actively expanding the narrative of Blackness with voices that were left out in the beginning, and in such a cool experimental way. Throughout the film, Cheryl's use of direct-to-camera narration helps us feel like the film is more authentic. This is actually a quest that she's going on because we're along that journey with her. In a way, Cheryl documents her own history and encounters with interracial relationships because she also gets into a relationship with a white woman in the film, same way Faye Richards did back in the 30s and 40s.
Don't you think we should kiss?
When Faye Richards doesn't exist in reality, Cheryl does, and watching her day-to-day encounters reminds us that Black lesbian life does exist. Chapter 4. An Audre Lordian legacy. The late Audre Lorde coined the term biomythography to describe her book, Zombie. I actually have it right here. I also have the film too. The late Audre Lorde coined the term biomythography to describe her book Zombie, which blends narrative, myth, and historical context. This literary form allows people to explore identity and shape their own experiences. Cheryl has once said, "I'm an Audre Lordean, and reading a lot of Black lesbian literature and activism and art and poetry and those of queer people of color at the time definitely had an influence in shaping the voice I wanted to lead." And lead a voice she has, right? The Watermelon Woman has opened the door for films to explore Black identity, race, and queerness through meta-cinematic techniques. Black transgender filmmaker Tourmaline has also used biomythography in their films, Atlantic is a Sea of Bones and Happy Birthday Marsha, reflecting on Marsha P. Johnson's life. It's through being an Audre Lordean that queer women have found an opportunity to excavate the narratives that they want to live in. It is through biomythology that queerness becomes a livable world. Even now, this idea of queerness being livable seems scary and a faraway truth. But Cheryl's efforts to offer representation where there was none speaks volumes. It's been added to the permanent collection in MoMA, the Criterion Collection, inducted into the National Film Registry, among countless accolades. In conclusion, The Watermelon Woman is both a celebration of Black queer identity and a sharp critique of the film industry's historical biases. Even now, there doesn't seem to be a better grasp on Black queer representation in media, but there's tons that fit a Eurocentric standard, like Blue is the Warmest Color, Tar, The L Word, Ammonite, Love Lies Bleeding, Carol. There's so many, right? If you haven't seen The Watermelon Woman, I'd recommend it. It's available on the Criterion Collection and to rent on YouTube and Prime Video, among other streaming services. Check out her other films too, The Potluck and the Passion, Greetings from Africa, and An Untitled Portrait. In the comments below, let me know what some of your favorite mockumentaries are. I just watched Never Stop, Never Stopping, which is hilarious. I've been trying to get into Daisy Jones and the Six. I think maybe I need to actually get into it. All right, guys, that's all I have until next time. Bye.